Hi guys, it's Mew2King, and I've now made my tier list, and I'm going to try to order them the best I can. Just note that because there's so many characters, and I lack so much knowledge on so many characters that I haven't seen at a high level, it's going to be rather difficult for me to do this, but I'm going to try my best regardless. So I'm going to start with the bottom tier. The worst character in the game, in my opinion, even though he can still win because of comeback factor, is probably Little Mac, and the reason is because usually he won't get his best stage, which is FD. Which means a strategy you could use against him is you could just get the lead against him, and you could just run away on platforms and make his life very difficult. Because I think the KO punch doesn't even kill in the air until like above 100, for example. Areas and up B are risky and whatnot. Almost every stage is a platform except like FD and Kalos. So he's pretty much never getting those types of stages anyway. So the stages he's forced to start on make him quite bad. Also, he's not as strong as he should be on the ground. A theory crafted that he'd be a lot better before the game came out, because in Smash 4, especially in the 3DS version, he was quite strong, and I thought they'd make him strong again. And you know, the dash dancing, I thought that would be more powerful. But he's not as strong as he should be to compensate for his weaknesses. Also, if he side Bs and you hit him, he can just die. However, KO Punch is very strong, and you can still be like, you can beat somebody significantly better than you just by getting beat up, not getting gimped, and getting rewarded with a KO Punch. So even though he's probably the worst character for like a pro player to use, you can still beat people significantly better than you by using him because of the KO punch gimmick, which is actually quite strong. So, despite being the worst character, you can still win. The second worst character, in my personal opinion, is probably Kirby. Now, obviously, most people could probably put Kirby a lot higher than this, but I guess I just think the other characters are better. Kirby is one of his main strats is to get a low percent grab, and then you can do like forward throw combos and the forward airs and whatnot. These mainly work at the low percents, but outside that, you do like short hop fair and pull back, which is one of his other main strategies. Beyond this, he's kind of underwhelming. These are pretty much his main strategies. He's kind of outboring you to death and hoping you come to him. If you just camp him out, if you're just committed to camping him out the whole time and not caring about people saying, oh, why are you camping a low tier, then you can just like negate a lot of him as a character. So overall, I think Kirby's just not as strong as he should be. Like up throw is a little underwhelming with the power. When he sucks you up, he loses his powers kind of too quickly. It feels like he loses his powers even more quickly than before. I feel like he should get buffs to his power and a bit more buffs to his KO power and a bit more buffs to how long he can hold a power, because that's kind of a fun mechanic anyway, like Kirby wearing all the different hats and having powers. Losing them right away it's not fun at all. Also, when he eats projectiles, he only heals like 1 damage while also in stun, and I guess it could be a cute gimmick for low-level play, but if you want it to actually be useful competitively, he has to heal more than 1% and or have less lag after it. Similar case with other types of moves, but like Wario and whatnot, except the difference is Wario's an amazing character where Kirby kind of needs everything you can get. Those are probably the bottom two in my personal opinion, based on my current knowledge, mainly because I don't think the other characters are worse than them. So the next in order, if I had to take a guess based on current knowledge, is Bowser Jr., and I don't even think Bowser Jr. is as bad as people say. But I think it's hard to name too many characters that are worse. So one of the things about Bowser Jr. that's actually really good, like extremely good, is up air. Up air combos into itself. It's fast, not much total time, good priority. Also, you can up throw up air. Like on heavy big characters, you can actually just up throw them. Up air, up air, up air, up air, up air. Like Wizrobe did that to me. With Bowser Jr., he just did that to my Bowser, and I'm sure that type of stuff can work on a lot of other characters. Outside of that, F Smash, it's like the same as before, but it feels like it has less range, and sometimes people pop out of it. If you hit him out of his recovery, similar to Little Mac's recovery, where you hit him out of recovery, he can just die like right away. So he still has a lot of flaws, but I'm not confident that he's like, you know, third from the bottom, but I do think he's somewhere in the low tier. The order isn't extremely important until we get near the top. I just want to give a disclaimer that I'm a lot more confident on my orders. I'm more confident that the order is closer to the reality when I get higher to the top than I am in the middle. The first half of the characters, like the bottom half of the cast, I'm extremely like unconfident, so don't take this order too seriously. It's only based on my current knowledge. I'm just giving a rough idea. Anyway, after Bowser Jr., I'd probably put Piranha Plant. And the thing is, I don't even think Plant's like that bad if you're committed to a campy playstyle, like get the lead and play super campy and play with ledge traps, because his ledge trap is actually pretty good. You can charge the poison if they don't approach. You can edge guard characters with bad recoveries with your aerials, or you could just charge up the poison, throw the poison smoke at the soonest point in time that they could do a ledge jump, while standing back at ledge roll range and then punishing that on reaction, or using the spike ball to cover options like ledge jump. And if they roll in and you read that, you can up smash. Like, he has quite a bit going for him in terms of ledge trapping. He has good edge guarding, and he has heavy weight. So it's actually not that bad. And apparently Brood from Japan plays him. And we'll see what types of results he gets. I haven't paid too much attention lately on that. I think the character actually has quite a bit of potential, but I still do think he's somewhere near the bottom. Having heavy weight does help, though, and not being able to beat Gimp too easily. But yeah, I put him somewhere in the lower end of the tier list. Rosalina, her moves just don't work that well. Like forward air, people just fall out of it. At the summit, you saw me use Rosalina, and I just did the forward air, and people just fell out of it. It's kind of ridiculous. But again, when you saw the Buzz fight Sam Sora, he actually won that match at Summit in a close game on the Game 5 at an important Summit set. If the Buzz can do that, the character probably can't be that bad. But that's the only time I've ever seen Rosalina like do anything. Rosalina's probably better than this, but that's the only time I've ever seen Rosa do anything, so I can't give too much credit to a single instance. Then I have Jigglypuff. I used to have a lot of faith in Jigglypuff early in the meta, when I was just hitting people online with Pound and doing a big combo and whatnot. But yeah, that's just early meta. If you just don't get hit by Pound in singles, she kind of just sucks. In doubles, she gets way better because like you can combo into rest and she can control her space better and cover certain options really hard on edge guarding or team combos. She gets significantly better in doubles, but in singles, she's just very underwhelming. You literally just don't get hit by Pound and she can't get much started. That's pretty much why she's really low. I think there's a chance she could be higher, but I feel like there's just an equal or even greater chance she would be lower than this. Unfortunately, which was not my conclusion when back in December and January. I had more faith in her. After learning more about the game, I've lowered that opinion. Next would be any order of Isabelle and Villager. Again, this is another instance where they don't seem too horrible, but it's like I've never really, like, what are they doing? Like, Renai is like the best Villager. I don't know what he's doing right now, so I can't really see what Villager can do. They're pretty much the same as the last game. I'm not really sure where they would be exactly. I do know some differences with Isabelle and Villager. For example, Isabelle actually has a better slingshot, just in my opinion, because it hits characters lower better, because it shoots from like the center of her body instead of the top of her body. Not many people know that. I'm not sure if anyone knows that. I'm going to release more in-depth videos on these comparisons in the future. But yeah, I would put them somewhere in the lower end of the list, but just the fact that they have a slingshot in general would be good. But Isabelle's little mine, she plants on the ground, you can literally just run shield it, or wait like 11, 12 seconds for it to disappear. The fishing rod, again, that loses to run shield too. You could also attack the down beast thing she has. Villager's probably better because he has the Lloyd. He has the side B. You can just use it to get safe approaches. So I'm almost confident. I'm pretty confident Villager's the better endgame character, but I just haven't seen these characters do anything. After that, it'd probably be some order of Ken, Ryu, and Incineroar. Sale made me put Incineroar between Ken and Ryu because Incineroar beat Ken in the little movie thing. Salem is stupid. Anyway, so Ken and Ryu, apparently these characters are worse than before. Although I didn't think that at first. I thought these characters would be amazing, but apparently the Kens and Ryus want to use their back air a lot. Apparently facing toward people sucks. I don't know. I'm not even convinced these characters are that bad. It's just everyone's saying they are, and there's no results, so I can't really put them that high, to be honest. I feel like the Theory Craft, they should be better. They just aren't doing anything. Incineroar, when the game first came out, I thought he was like mid-high tier, like back in December. And then I played more and more, and then people learned the matchup, and I realized he's not that good. And I can elaborate on this. So at first, it was like, okay, if they fight me up close, he can be good. But then it's like people just want to play the 8-minute game with you and just never approach for 8 minutes and just take advantage of your slow running speed. Is like a lot worse. And so I play Salem, as you know, sometimes, and so he has practice in the Incineroar matchup. If you saw Magisters, who had the best results of Incineroar so far at Genesis, he made a pretty good run, but then he lost to Salem. So I was like, well, at least I can learn something from the set, right? So I watched up the set on YouTube, because it's actually on YouTube. Every single game Salem 2-stocked him, and the games were closer to being a 3-stock than they were a 1-stock. So after watching this, yeah, Salem, I was like, wait, I didn't learn anything from that Salem yet. And then he basically told me that he thought my Incineroar is better and that Incineroar's is not that good. And I was like, oh. Because I was trying to have faith in the character. I was like, okay, maybe I can just learn more. But then it's like, okay, Salem actually learned the matchup and exploited the fact that he can't approach and relies on this in this situation, like the side B here. Just hit him after the recovery here. And just when you learn all these specifics, it gets a lot worse, which is why I haven't really been using him as much. And in the future, it'll probably just get worse and worse. I did not want to come to this conclusion. I wanted to be more optimistic, but my brain tells me that that's what I'm saying is the reality, or is going to be the end game meta reality. He could be higher, but if he is, it's probably not significant. Mainly because I don't see him being worse than many characters. But I mean, yeah, he could be higher than a few characters above. The next few characters, there's also a chance he could be worse than characters like maybe Plant, Rosaline in the future if they get optimized. Like the one match the Buzz did is better than anything we've done probably. And we'll see what Japan does with the Plant and whatnot. But yeah, there's a lot of question marks right now. Anyway, it'll be Sheik after that probably. I feel like Sheik isn't even that bad. It's just that she's like the worst character in the game on Wi-Fi, and everyone plays Wi-Fi. Sorry, I mean online. Offline, you want to like hit them consistently by reacting, just playing safe, react to what they do, and be perfect. And Sheik's good at that. But online, that style is super nerfed. So being heavy, having projectiles, weight, super armor, all those things, they're better online. Sheik is the exact opposite. She's like the worst online character. So if you play online, you're probably gonna think she's like super bottom tier garbage. But my tier list is for like offline, so I think she's not that actually even that bad. But I don't think she's particularly good either. It's more that there's like not really reason to use her, rather than her being like particularly bad. It's just like there's like better versions of like other characters. A Pit and Dark Pit somewhere after that. This is another instance of they don't seem that bad, but they don't have like the big comeback factor, and they don't have many results. Pit's probably better in Dark Pit in more matchups. I explained the differences in one of my other videos, Echo Fighter videos. I'm gonna make more of those in the future. Yeah, this is mainly a situation where they just don't have results, although they don't seem that bad. Like, they have multiple jumps to get out of disadvantage. They have the shield for landing with. They have they have good recovery. Their up B's super fast to the ledge. They could still work. I just don't really see results with them. Ices are a huge question mark because they have like an infinite, and an infinite that was like just discovered like very, very, very recently. And there's always big combos done, but then again, there's another instance of like no results. They're all theory craft. They could either be like garbage, horrible, worst in the game, or they could be like god tier, best in the game. They have the biggest range of question marks. Like we don't know what's gonna happen with them. They could literally be anywhere in the tier. So you might as well just throw a dartboard at the tier list, and that's where you place Ices, because there's too many question marks surrounding them. I will say this though: if you're not using desyncs, then they suck. You literally have to optimize their grab combos and desyncs. If you're just like picking them up and just trying to use them, then they're just going to be a garbage character. They're only good if you optimize them. If you don't optimize them, garbage. Game Watch, somewhere in the lower tiers. I know Meister does good. Everyone's going to bring up Meister. You know, he's doing good. And Game Watch has this amazing thing called a frame 2 up B out of shield. The fastest up B out of shield in the entire game. That's extremely good. And that's pretty much like one of his main stuff. Also, he has a bucket to negate projectile campers. So he's pretty good against projectile-based characters because of the bucket. Reflects projectiles and absorbs as well. So he's kind of like a counterpick character. I don't know, you can't really place him accurately. It's more like he's a counterpick character. Although I will say the forward air is really, really bad. Like what is that forward air anyway? It's just like a bomb, and it doesn't come out right away, and you could just hit Game Watch. He's such a bad forward air, honestly. I feel like that has lack of a good fair. Like if he had like the old forward air, it would have been a lot better. Yeah. Dr. Mario's somewhere in the lower ends. He's definitely worse than Mario. I don't know how much worse. Mainly the pill's super good and he's stronger. Back throw is stronger. The backer is good for gimping. But his recovery sucks so bad. Like, you could just probably trade with him, gimp him. I just feel like the recovery is going to hold him back in the long term. That's why I just feel like he's low tier only because of recovery. King K. Rool I actually think is kind of underrated. I know everyone says he's like garbage and stuff, and I don't think he's particularly good, but I feel like he's a little bit underrated, to be honest. And the reason is actually because of one particular move that might surprise you. It's Neutral Air. You can use Neutral Air for landing. You can use it as like a mix-up to air dodge for landing. You can super armor moves. Unless you hit it with like a smash attack, like a Bowser up smash or something, and you know it breaks in one hit. It's actually a pretty good move. But there's even another use that nobody's using. You can actually nair off the stage and edge guard people. Did you know that King K. Rool can like edge guard characters like Lucina and Mario by just nairing their up B? And if they're not DIing it, or if they're past a certain percent, they just die from the move. Like, you can edge guard a lot of recoveries just by nairing, getting hit by their up B, hitting them like the frame or two later, or in the same frame, and you just trade with them, and then King K. Rool just recovers for free. So he has some pretty good edge guarding. I feel like that's an underused portion of him, so I don't think he's that bad because of that. But yeah, he's definitely in the low end of the tier list still. Falco has quite a bit of combos with like the up airs and up tilts, specifically up airs and up tilts and neutral airs. There's a lot of combos you can do, but he's not like particularly like amazing either. If you play campy, he's good at beating people who can't, because he has a laser, and he has the Shine, which are two things that are good to out-camp people. So he's like going to be matchup based. He's good at out-camping you if your strategy is camping, but you can just run him down and be a better character and fight him up close. And then he's like, whatever, you know. Yeah, I'd probably put him in the lower tier just based on current knowledge, but again, I don't know too much on these characters because the game's too young. Diddy Kong, I'd probably put after that somewhere. I actually think Diddy might be higher because he just has such a good neutral. It's just that there's like, as far as I know, there's like no results. So it's like, it's hard to say, oh, he's too amazing just because results. I don't think he's the worst ever either, just because he's the same neutral as before. But there is an important thing. Banana throw is apparently like a lot worse. It's like slower than before. All his moves kill later. Yeah, I don't think he's even that bad, but again, I can't put him too high if no results. Cat and Falcon also feels a little underwhelming. I feel like he's just a weaker, worse version than before. He's just weaker in general. His recovery's better, but the jab got worse. Like, back air's weaker. The down throw combos, they're like gone or super nerfed. You can shield grab even if he needs your shield. I don't know. He just seems underwhelming. And Fatality did a lot better in Smash 4 than he does in this game. Like, he still does well in Smash Ultimate, but he was definitely like dominating Georgia, like clear best in Georgia during the time period that Falcon in Smash 4. You can just see how much worse the character got by him not being as much of a threat. Just one example, but yeah, I'd probably put him in the lower tier. Being fast still helps, of course. DDD somewhere in the low tier, I think, too, because, well, mainly because more than half the cast is better. But I will say this. I do think DDD could rise if you optimize just abusing Gordo ledge traps. So the thing with Gordo is, like, your character being good at bad against DD is based on how good your character handles Gordo. Some characters handle Gordo for free and just bounce back at DD, and that erases DD's neutral. And some characters just can't handle Gordo well at all, and then DD is suddenly like decent. But the one thing is very consistent with DD. If DD like hits you off the stage and just covers the high options and forces you to the ledge, just covers every option except you going to the ledge so that you're forced onto the ledge, DD has like one of the best ledge traps in the entire game. A contender for the best, depending on the matchup, by just bouncing the Gordo slowly and at a certain position, and then either reacting or charging a smash attack at the other from like ledge roll distance or just behind get up attack range. And a lot of characters, especially if you're like a big body, can't really deal with this, whereas some smaller bodies can handle it easy. So it's gonna be he's super specific on like which matchups he's good or bad against. He could be really good against DD or really bad against DD. So again, it's like hard to put like a number on him. But yeah, these are just some random thoughts. Mewtwo, I'd probably put low tier, mainly because he can't land. Before, he would land by spamming air dodge multiple times, and you can't really react to it because by the time you react to the first one, he's already doing the second one, so it's actually unreactable. But now you can only air dodge once and then you're in lag, so then it's like, okay, what else do I do? Teleport cancel. And doing teleport cancel from platforms to land is now extremely precise to the point that it's extremely inconsistent. So even the top Mewtwo's don't want to do it. In addition, most Mewtwo players dropped him or get worse results. I can't, in good conscience, based on what I know, put him higher than like maybe top of low tier, just for an example. Meta Knight, I think he's a worse version of Smash 4, mainly because the up B is so much worse. It doesn't kill. Like, it almost never kills, but it also doesn't like work as well. Like, I feel like sometimes I hit the up B, like the first hit hits, and then the second hit just misses. Like, I'm talking about the aerial one. And I feel like, yeah, okay, he has like certain combos that lead to death that I've never seen in tournament. I just seen him on training mode. And he has good recovery with the tornado. He gets out of disadvantage pretty easily too. And he can do landing fair into combos. So he actually has quite a few tools. But I don't think that, I'd say he's average at best in my opinion. But this is just based on my current knowledge at the time. Ridley, I would say he's super garbage. But it's hard to put him too low when Trello and Tweak have gotten results of him. Now, this is one of the interesting things. I think like people like MKLeo and Tweak just carry characters since they're just like, they were the best two at the end of Smash 4 and they're the current best two in results in Ultimate. They're probably just the best two players, so I kind of like want to nerf that a bit. But when you look at results, Trella and Tweak have both done some things. It's hard to put him too high, but I still feel like he's a below average character. He pretty much has a broken Nair. His Nair is just OP and just God, but then everything else is underwhelming. So he's like, oh yeah, and his matchup spread is like he can deal with like characters like the Belmonts, kind of. But by standing on the other side of the stage, charge 6 fireballs, you trade 1 fireball for their side B attack, and then you can just approach with the other 5 fireballs, and then make like one read and then hit him off the stage, and then make one more read and then get a kill. Like, but then like if your character just combos him hard, he gets bodied because he's light and big and fat. And then he's again, a lot of these low tiers, they have like specific things they're good at and bad at. So they're gonna be like, I feel like all low tiers are like kind of counterpick characters. They're like really good and really bad at certain things. So I feel like their matchups are gonna be like, okay, really can fight this small selection of characters because the fireball is effective here, the edge guard's effective here. They don't combo them too hard, but then they just get bodied by a lot more. I feel like that's a similar case.